Right now, Prince Harry is packing his bags and leaving his home in California, called Montecito. He's not just visiting England to say sorry. He's running away, and the timing is really bad. This is because Piers Morgan just shared some big news, like a bomb going off after many years of waiting. There are pictures of Meghan Markle on a fancy boat. These are not just fun holiday pictures. They show Meghan with rich and powerful people, some of whom were connected to Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. These were places where important people, money, and closeness to power caused big problems. These problems ruined Prince Andrew and are now chasing Harry's happy life in California like a fast missile. Think about that for a moment. Harry spent years breaking all his ties with the British royal family. He even told Oprah on TV that his family was mean and racist. He signed big money deals to say how bad the royal system was. He gave up royal guards, royal secrets, and royal power, saying he didn't need any of it. But now, Piers Morgan is showing pictures of his wife in places that could lead to government investigations and people having to tell the truth under oath. Harry is rushing back to his old family, almost like his life depends on it, because it really might. Piers is not just holding random pictures. These photos show a life that didn't make sense. Meghan was an actress on a TV show that was just okay. She was living like a super-rich person, flying all over the world for fancy events, and being on yachts in the same groups where Ghislaine Maxwell helped powerful and dangerous people meet. Piers has been collecting these clues for years, and they are coming out just as things are falling apart for Harry and Meghan in Montecito. And the person who knows all the secrets has started talking from prison in Florida. When someone who said they didn't need help from a big group suddenly asks for it again, it means they are very scared of what will happen when people start telling secrets. And Ghislaine Maxwell has already begun to talk. Piers Morgan sat down for an interview with his usual smile, which means he knows something others don't. He shared information that made 57,000 people complain to the TV company. People were very angry and wanted him fired for saying bad things about Meghan. But here's the scary part. Meghan Markle herself secretly called his bosses to try and get him fired. She didn't use her usual helpers or official ways. She tried directly to stop a reporter from talking. But Piers, with a happy look, said he still has his job. Why? Because the proof he has been gathering is very bad for them. The yacht photos show Meghan in important places. She was at fancy parties for Soho house clubs in places like Istanbul in 2015. People who knew called her social filler. This sounds rude, but it means she was there to make the room look good and lively before the very important people arrived. This job doesn't make you famous, but it lets you into rooms where cameras don't go and where secrets are kept. She was flying around the world, staying in fancy hotels, and always moving among rich and powerful people. This happened many times, and there are many pictures to prove it. Here's where things didn't add up. At that time, Meghan was just an actress in a small role on a TV show. She made good money, yes, but could she fly all over the world, go on yachts, and stay in fancy hotels all the time? No, not even close. Piers connected the dots that others saw but didn't say out loud. Her fancy life, being close to rich people, and being in rooms where powerful men relaxed and rules were broken. Nobody said she did anything wrong. That would be bad to say. Instead, people did something quieter and more dangerous. They remembered, and memories are patient. They wait. Years later, when that same woman is standing with a prince, has a fancy title, and waves from palace balconies, those memories suddenly make more sense. Those old things people noticed don't go away. They just look different now. And now, with Piers sharing the pictures and Ghislaine Maxwell telling names from prison, those memories are not just interesting anymore. They are important for the law. Ghislaine Maxwell is in prison for 20 years in Florida. Her powerful social group is gone. Her power is broken. Her future is set in stone behind bars, and that's what makes her dangerous. Now here's something true about people. People stay quiet when being quiet helps them, when they still have friends, when they still have power, when they still have hope. Maxwell has none of that. Many people say she has started talking, not in whispers, but saying real names. People who were in the same fancy rooms she used to control with Jeffrey Epstein. The Soho House connection is where Meghan's world and Maxwell's world met. Soho House was more than just a cool private club for artists. Secretly, it was a way for different worlds to meet that usually don't mix in public. Hollywood people met money people. New rich people met old powerful people. People who loved attention met people who hated it. These were not just random parties. They were carefully planned to feel lively when important guests arrived. They had the right energy, the right people, and the right faces in the room. And Meghan was flown across countries to be one of those faces. Here's where it gets really serious. During a court case by Virginia Giuffre, whose story ruined Prince Andrew's reputation, Meghan Markle's name almost came up in court, not as someone accused of a crime, but as a witness. This is very important. Witnesses are not accused of crimes. They are people who might have seen something, heard something, or been there when important things happened. People in the court case thought about her name for 3 reasons. First, she lived in America, which made it easy for the court. Second, she was called a close friend of Prince Andrew during a certain time. And third, she was said to have been in Jeffrey Epstein's social group during the years when bad things were happening. In the end, she wasn't called to court. But the problem wasn't that she wasn't called. It was that the people investigating, who could make anyone talk, looked at her past and thought there was something they needed to ask her about. And now Maxwell is talking. And the boat pictures Piers just shared show Meghan in those same groups during those exact years. While the boat scandal is exploding everywhere, Montecito has also become a terrible place for Harry and Meghan to live. This isn't just one problem. This is a huge mess of many bad things happening all at once. The rich people in Montecito have completely ignored Harry and Meghan. They don't invite them to local parties anymore. Dinner parties that used to have them now quietly leave them off the guest lists. 805. The fancy coffee shops and stores have become uncomfortable places where Meghan feels judged instead of welcome. Someone local said it perfectly. This town has real famous people who don't cause drama wherever they go. Netflix, the big company that gave the couple over $100 million, is stopping their deal. The bosses are angry because the shows they promised never happened. The documentary they made just complained a lot and made people stop watching. Other projects either failed or got stuck and never finished. People who know about the entertainment business said that Netflix is basically done giving them chances, and their relationship is too bad to fix. One person in entertainment said it harshly. The numbers don't lie, and Harry and Meghan simply aren't bringing in the viewers Netflix expected for all that money. Then there's the Archewell staff leaving. 11 people, all experienced workers, have quit, including James Holt, the boss, who was shown a lot in their Netflix show. He moved his whole family from England to help build Harry and Meghan's company. He stayed long enough to know it couldn't be saved and left. The head of public relations only lasted 7 months before leaving. 7 months. In that type of work, leaving so fast always means there's a big problem, and the work environment is very bad. The money problems are making things very hard for them. Their big house in Montecito cost $14 million. Security costs millions of dollars each year. The fancy life they live needs a lot of money coming in, but it's just not happening. Spotify already ended their deal, and one of their bosses famously called Harry and Meghan grifters as they left. People say Meghan is looking for new places to live. Texas, Europe, anywhere but Montecito. She really wants to leave the community that doesn't want her anymore. But here's the problem that moving can't fix. Piers Morgan's yacht pictures are everywhere, and Ghislaine Maxwell's stories from prison don't care where you live. 10/18. As the yacht pictures spread and questions about Meghan's past get bigger, Piers Morgan's old claims are coming up again and seem much more serious now. This is because if the yacht story shows that Meghan made up a careful image that isn't real, what else has been a show instead of the truth? The confusing things about her pregnancy that Piers pointed out are now being looked at very closely again, and the patterns are truly troubling. 10:46. Kate, the Princess of Wales, stood outside the hospital just hours after having a baby. She wore high heels, her hair was perfect, her makeup was done, and she held her new babies for everyone to see. She did this 3 times. 3 times she showed everything, honored old traditions, and shared her happy moments. Meghan, however, made her pregnancy a big mystery, like a book where the story changed all the time. One week, her baby bump was big, round, and clear to see. She held it all the time and moved very carefully, like she was carrying something very fragile. Days later, sometimes in the same week, pictures showed the bump looking smaller, flatter, and in a totally different spot. How she moved was even more telling. In some videos, Meghan walked slowly, holding her stomach, taking every step carefully. Then suddenly, in other appearances, she was climbing stairs quickly, turning easily, bending down without effort, moving without any signs of being restricted. We're not talking about small changes over many months. We're talking about huge differences within days, sometimes hours. One time, she looked so pregnant she could barely move. The next, she was practically doing tricks in 5-inch high heels. People claimed, and these claims were never really denied, that internal papers started to be passed around. These papers supposedly kept track of Meghan's appointments and where she went during her pregnancy. Hospital appointments were supposedly written down for days when Meghan was photographed at events far across London. Not just close timing that could be explained. Entire days where papers said she was in one place and pictures showed her somewhere completely different. You can't be in 2 places at once. The timing of pregnancy doesn't change. Then came a detail that made even people who weren't paying close attention really notice. the promise of a home birth. Meghan had told people close to her that she wanted to give birth at home in Frogmore Cottage. She wanted it to be natural and private, not following strict royal rules. The public believed her without question. Then May 6, 2019, arrived, and suddenly, without anyone saying why, she gave birth at Portland Hospital in London instead. No explanation, not one sentence about why the plans changed. Just silence, a very loud, suspicious silence that made people start to look back at everything she said, wondering how much of the carefully made-up story was actually true. Harry knows exactly what happened to Prince Andrew because he watched it ruin his uncle very quickly. Andrew didn't lose his position because of tabloids or rumors or what the news said. He lost everything because people testified, because they made sworn statements. Because once Virginia Giuffre's questions were answered under oath, the happy story fell apart right away. That's how big problems really end in the legal world. Not with headlines, but with official papers. Not with public relations statements, but with sworn questions. Andrew became the example that royal families look at when things go terribly wrong. He proved that keeping quiet can protect you for years, until it can't anymore. The situation for Andrew and Harry is very similar and scary, and Harry knows it. Both were connected to Epstein's groups through friends and social ties. Both were in places where rules were blurry, and powerful people did things without anyone watching. Andrew was directly named in Virginia Giuffre's sworn statement. Meghan was almost called as a witness in that same case. The same case, the same legal process that ruined Andrew almost made Meghan give sworn testimony about who was there and when. Harry knows the royal family has ways of dealing with problems that California publicists will never have. Lawyers who know how to make problems smaller instead of bigger. Fixers with hundreds of years of knowledge. Rules made specifically to stop scandals before they go to court. The royal system knows how to hide bad things from the past. Look at Princess Sophia of Sweden. She had a past in glamour modeling and was supposedly near Epstein's connected groups as early as 2005. When she became a royal, that past didn't go away. It just stopped being talked about. Look at Crown Princess Mette-Marit of Norway. She publicly said sorry in 2019 for being friends with Jeffrey Epstein. The apology happened, the story ended, and the royal family moved on. But here's the very important difference that is making Harry panic. Those royal ways of dealing with problems work before people start testifying, not after. Once government investigators start asking questions under oath, once meetings to answer questions are set, once official demands for information are sent, no amount of palace rules can stop what's happening. And the biggest question of all, the question that is haunting Harry as he runs from Montecito, is this. What did you know about your wife's past, and when did you know it? If he knew about her being on yachts, being near Epstein and in rich party groups and helped hide it, he's part of covering it up. If he didn't know, if he married her without knowing this risk, then he walked into a huge problem that could destroy everything he built. Either way, the fairy tale is over. And either way, he needs the royal protection he publicly called bad and mean. Harry is literally leaving Montecito and running back to the royal family in the UK, a family he spent years trying to break down. This isn't about saying sorry. This isn't about remembering old times or fixing family fights. This is panic. This is about staying alive. This is a man who understands that when Piers Morgan shares yacht pictures and Ghislaine Maxwell starts saying names from prison, California publicists are completely powerless. Think about what Harry is doing right now. He sat in front of Oprah's cameras and said his family made racist comments about his son's skin color. He signed deals with Netflix and Spotify just to say how broken and mean the royal family was. He wrote a book telling about private talks and family fights. He publicly and permanently ruined his relationships with William and Charles. He gave up royal protection, royal lawyers, royal power, and told the world he didn't need any of it. And now, as troubles get closer, he's rushing back to that same family, begging for the protection he said no to. Leaving is smart and hard. Harry is royal by blood. He's Charles's son, William's brother, Diana's child. The royal family might protect him because he's family, because protecting him protects the crown. But Meghan is not royal by blood. Meghan is the American actress who came in, messed everything up, caused years of trouble, and is now connected by pictures and possible sworn statements to scandals the royal family absolutely cannot afford. The royal family has often sacrificed outsiders to protect the royal bloodline. Harry is running back to that protection, and people say he's doing it alone. Meanwhile, Meghan is also looking for her own ways to escape. Texas has been mentioned. Some European countries have been looked at. She desperately wants to leave Montecito as neighbors ignore her, Netflix leaves her, and money problems get worse. But here's what both of them are learning the hard way. You can run from a falling apart social life in California, but you cannot run from pictures. You cannot move away from stories told in prison. You cannot move to a different state and make people forget that investigators, who could make you talk, once looked at your past and thought there was something worth asking about. The California dream they sold to the world, the safe place they said they found, the peace and quiet they said they really needed, all of it is burning down. And Harry is leaving the ship while Piers Morgan makes things worse with more and more damaging proof. The pile of evidence is now too big to ignore. Piers Morgan's yacht pictures showing Meghan with rich and powerful people who were connected to Epstein's world. Ghislaine Maxwell's stories from prison naming people who were in those places. Harry's scared rush back to royal protection in the UK. The confusing things about Meghan's pregnancy that were never explained. The birth announcements that were prepared like company news. The bad timing at Buckingham Palace that made the royal family look clumsy. The loud silence responding to every single accusation. Meghan's reaction to all of this has been absolutely nothing. No carefully written statements. No spokesperson giving clear answers. No famous friends rushing to defend her. No legal threats. For someone who used to sue newspapers over stories she didn't like, who always had friends secretly tell reporters good things about her, who personally called Piers Morgan's bosses to try and get him fired, this silence is very bad. Because in the public's eyes, this kind of silence doesn't mean dignity. It means she can't deny it. It means she's avoiding something. It means she might be guilty. Harry's reaction has been even worse. He's physically running back to the very family he publicly broke apart. The man who built his whole life after being royal around protecting his family from false stories is saying absolutely nothing as specific accusations about his wife's past are being talked about all over the world. If someone was spreading lies about your wife being connected to Epstein's groups, wouldn't you be the first person to demand they take it back? But there's nothing. Just a flight back to London and the lawyers who know how to make scandals disappear. The pattern is clear. When powerful people stop talking and start running, the truth is chasing them. When yacht pictures meet prison stories, when photo proof matches what investigators are looking for, when money problems happen at the same time as being cut off socially, the fairy tale doesn't just crack, it shatters completely. Harry either knew about Meghan's past and helped hide it, which makes him guilty, or he didn't know and was terribly tricked into a marriage that is now ruining everything. The royal family might protect Harry because he is royal by blood, but Meghan, the royal family, has a long history of sacrificing outsiders to protect itself. And right now, as Harry leaves Montecito and Piers Morgan shares more damaging proof every day, it's becoming clear that the big trouble isn't coming. It's already here. The only question left is if anyone will make it through without being destroyed when Ghislaine Maxwell finishes talking and people start testifying under oath. Because once words are spoken under oath, they don't stay secret for long. And when that happens, no amount of running, no moving to a different place, no royal protection can erase what has already been written down, photographed, and remembered.